Last year, Nikuyah Walker was just one Charlottesville resident infuriated by the local response to the protests on August 12th. So she went to the next city council meeting.
The change that needs to take place in this town is going to require people in power that can handle it.
She decided to run as an independent candidate for city council and ended up getting elected mayor. We spoke with her in Charlottesville earlier.
Do you think this community a year later has healed, has changed?
Absolutely not.
Not at all?
No, because the issues were not the rally or just statues. The issue is this deep-seated racism that we have here, and that's the challenge. And that's a lot of work, and it takes commitment. And while people don't want alt-right, white men in khaki pants and polo shirts, walking through town, and they want to make it clear that they don't identify there. They have been very comfortable with racism and how it plagues the community.
So you think that the community still hasn't fixed some of the problems at the root of this kind of?
Oh, a year isn't long enough. We're talking about issues that have been going on here for centuries.
Do you think Charlottesville is representative of other cities in America?
I think if you start talking about the issues that we're facing around the country that relate to race and class, you can put Charlottesville up there as a city to study, and you'll find all the major disparities exist. And we hear these stories all across the country. We heard them in, Florida with Trayvon Martin and Ferguson, and with Tamir Rice in Cleveland. Like we hear these stories about people who are just shocked at where we are in our communities in regards to racism. But even once the facts are presented, people really don't want to change their actions to help truly heal that.
I think those images from last year shocked so many people because they think of Charlottesville as Thomas Jefferson's hometown, world-class university, world-class hospital, arts community, all of it. You ran on this platform, Unmask the Illusion.
Yes.
What's the illusion?
Because while it is Thomas Jefferson's hometown, you're talking about a president who enslaved people and built his empire off the backs of Black people. So that's the truth that we don't want to tell, right? You're talking about world-class university, but who is in that university? Who's able to walk those grounds versus who built the university? That university was built off of enslaved laborers.
One of the rallying points for the Unite the Right rally last year was around the Confederate statues, the monument to Robert E. Lee. He's still sitting right out there.
Yes.
The fact that that statue is still standing there has to be very frustrating for you.
What I often say to people is you have to have people who want to be on the right side of history. While, the law is the way that it is now, we have a judge at our circuit court. He's creative and working around whatever legal measures, are in place for us to take the statue down. It seems to be a lot of, support and research from his direction into making sure that it can stay up.
Because of the way that the state functions, unless my understanding is it's designated or determined to be a symbol of white supremacy, the war monument can't be taken down. Or
not a war memorial, yes. So that's the question, is whether it's a war memorial or not, right?
What does it represent to you?
The hate that it caused, the hate that it drew here, that people were able to mobilize behind a decision that the previous council had made about removing those statues and get that many people into this area to make sure that we understood that they were going to do everything within their power not to let that happen. That means that absolutely it must come down, right?
To you, it's a clear answer to the question, is it a sign of white supremacy? You're saying yes.
Yes, it definitely is. That statue went up in the 20s. The war had ended long before then.
But why pretend that that part of history, I guess, is the argument, didn't happen? Why not leave it and learn from it?
Yeah, no, it's not about pretending that it didn't happen. We look all over this nation and you have symbols of white supremacy up, right, all over the place that you can look and it says that white is superior, right? It tells a story. People look around them and all they see is symbols, portraits of white faces. So that story of just white dominance overall is something that we have struggled with as a country.
In the year that has passed, have you seen anything bridged? Have you seen from the top down in this country or in this community? Any good come?
Yeah, there's been good. I mean, we have a community here who, not all the people in the community, but we have a good segment of the population who has come together to fight. Has taken on the call to make sure that justice and equity is a part of their everyday lives, and understand that they have to take that into every room they walk in.